Yeah, it still has a ways to go. Part of the reason is WASI is actually trying to say, well, how do we define, it's easy to state the goal. It's like, all right, I want a portable OS agnostic interface. In pursuit of this goal, it's actually helped us realize we don't have, especially if we don't assume JavaScript, a great way to define a pure WASM interface that's not very specific to a particular class of languages. So, WASI has to communicate strings. So just asking how should WASI even pass a string? Is it passing a two I32s that are implicitly referencing the caller's linear memory? That's not a great answer, especially in the GC future, especially if you want to change the string, encoding over time. So that and a lot of other also, how do I pass a sequence of things or return a sequence of things, or any of these sort of basically, how do I make an interface that's language agnostic at all, motivated, surprisingly, took a long time to get here, but interface types. So WASI took a dependency essentially on interface types, which has sort of made it difficult because interface types itself had to be developed. And then developing interface types, we're like, well, how interface types talks not just about how a WASM module talks to the host, but how two WASM models want to talk to each other. Because ideally, when I talk to the other side, I don't even know if the other side's WASM or the host, because I want to be able to virtualize an API and say, no, you don't get to talk directly to the operating system. You have to talk through me first, because I want to be able to like intercept things or like mock up a file system or virtualize it or censor it or polyfill or whatever. So I need an interface where I'm talking either to the host or to a WASM module, I don't know. And how does some parent module get to swap in and say, no, here's what you get to talk to? Because there's this capability-based security model also that's a basic principle of WASI, and we want to respect that. So figuring out how does one module link another module and then get linked itself led to the module linking proposal. So WASI, just by this simple goal, keeps spawning other work items, which I think making WASM better and helping firm up the whole pure WASM ecosystem. But it explains why, despite fervent efforts by all the people in WASI, it's been kind of held up. And it's fortunately, like interface types is coming along nicely. We're almost finished with kind of a big rewrite of the explainer, rebasing it on this linking proposal. And based on that, there's not too much more that WASI needs out of it. So so hopefully it'll start moving along at a more rapid clip once interface types can settle down. But it's understandable that people are like, well, you started with demos that run. Why it's a year later? Why isn't it done yet? And it's like, well, it's stirred up some dust.